Josh, unfortunate ending for you tonight. What happened right there on the front stretch?
I don't know. Somebody underneath us just kept coming up the hill while we were 3 wide. I don't know if they didn't know or just got tight or whatever, but ended our day, which is unfortunate. We saved a lot of tire there at the beginning of that second run. So, I don't know. You never know what played out at the end there. So had fun. Thanks to Matt Collick, Chris Rice, all the guys. Super excited about this year coming up.
Yeah. So first race, with colleagues in the late model. Just you said you had fun and stuff.
Yeah.
What was the goal for tonight? Was it just have fun, or what were you trying to take away from it?
Our biggest thing, is just trying to get used to each other. Communication, getting to know the guys. Them getting to learn me a little bit too. How I drive and things like that. So it worked out good. We learned a lot. So it was fun for us. This was a good time.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Here with Brenden Queen. Fortunately, couldn't repeat your 2022 win here tonight, but you came out with a great result. Couldn't quite get there at the end. What more did you need?
I probably should have just done a little bit different strategy there. I kind of put my guys in a hole by going to the back, and kind of one of those things. It could have worked out, and tonight it didn't work out, but. We went for it. I just thought the pace was going to be too fast that second half, and it just quite didn't work out. But super proud that we got back to the top 5 and almost came away with a second or a third there on that restart. It just didn't quite work out. If we could have cleared the 8, we'd probably been in the top 3. But super proud of this whole LPP team for never giving up. That's been our motto all year, and we just fight to the very end.
And you mentioned at the race break that you guys had broke a toe link and stuff. How did that affect the car? Were you guys able to fix that?
Yeah, I hated I got into the 95. I mean, it wasn't intentional. It just happened. But the toe got knocked in quite a bit, and we got that straight. And then I got in a wall battling on the outside, and just kind of one of those nights. Just had to drive what we had, and we were too tight. But we just, like I said, we just battled to the very end there.
So you're just shocked that the pace didn't fall off as it did right there?
I was. I laid back, because I thought the pace the first 100 was too fast, and then we just didn't get cautions, and then they slowed it down, and I was already so far back I kind of had to commit to it, and then I started going because I didn't think we would get a caution, so I had to use a lot to go, and we drove from like 20th back to like 13th or something, and we just rallied back to a 5th there.
Yeah, thanks.
We lost some track position, kind of couldn't get back through there as easy, but still had a shot at it there at the end. Just needed to be a little bit better.
Were you surprised at kind of the different groups here? I mean, it was top, bottom, they were all over the place.
Yeah, I think most of us that were moving around, we were kind of struggling. The 23 can still rip the bottom pretty good, so I think it just kind of comes down to having your car balance right there at the end and being able to get around the place.
What was it like having Ronnie Childers with you?
Yeah, no, it's been fun, man. It's a really good group of guys. We've been really fast these last couple weeks. We just got to put it all together, right? It's just going to take time. But these races are hard to win, especially popping in here and not racing all season. So we're good. It's been a lot of fun. We're gonna keep after it. Hopefully make it to Southern National next week and try again. Thank you.
What changed for you after dominating that first stint right there, and then at the break after the tires and everything? You kind of directed back. Was that the same tires, or what happened with you guys in the second stint?
Yeah, we fired off a good bit tighter that second run. I don't really know why we didn't really make hardly any adjustments at the break there. So we just kind of missed it that second half, right? The car didn't turn quite as good, and that kind of gets your back unhooked on exit. And we fought that for a long time, and then through all the chaos at the end, I think we still had a chance at it. We just needed one of those restarts to kind of go our way to maybe get a chance at the front row or something. But nonetheless, it was a lot of fun. Rodney and all these guys did a great job. It's been a lot of fun, so we'll keep digging.
Did you expect the guys up front to maybe wear their stuff out as they were passing you to start that, or because over the radio you were told to save that right front tire and stuff, and so was that something that you were doing, just wanting to hang back and maybe get him at the end there? Because Butterbean did make a charge himself, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's just a balance. It's just a fine balance, right? Like for us, I guess if our car was a little bit stronger, I think we could have stayed in the front a little easier. When we started to get tight like that, we had to back off a little bit just to probably take care of it. Towards the end, it was 150 green laps It's a long time here on these tires, so I think it kind of did play in our favor there at the end. I think we had the tires, a little bit better tires there at the end. We just didn't quite have the balance. So, but all in all, man, it was fun, a lot of fun. Rough racing there on those last couple restarts, man. We just needed something to go our way a little bit there. Maybe we could have got a couple more spots, but all in all, a lot of fun.
And how was you mentioned earlier, working with Rodney was fun. You guys are getting that race together after having 2 races down. With this one, how did tonight go over the radio and stuff?
Yeah, no, it's been fun, man. I mean, Rodney's awesome. I mean, he's a great crew chief, and he's done a great job with his car, building it kind of in his spare time, I guess, over the last couple of years. And this car's been really fast, so it's been a lot of fun working with these guys. We're just kind of, I keep saying this, it's a process. They haven't ran, but probably, gosh, I would say maybe 7 or 8 races now. So we're just building our next look and getting better, but we're still in contention in these races. So we just, like I said, we just got to keep after it, keep getting a little bit better here and there, and we'll be in victory lane.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Carson Kvapil, 3rd tonight in the South Carolina 400 at Florence Motor Speedway. On those last couple restarts, it looked like you had it when you were on the outside, and then it looked like it got away from you there when you had to restart on the bottom. What more did you need there when you were restarting on the bottom?
Yeah, we were tight all night. That restart on the top was really our only chance, and I honestly think if we would have been able to, if he wouldn't have got by us and got by us at the line, then caution came out. I don't think, I don't know, I guess, right? I feel like how I look at it is we should have finished second, could have won it. So if we were able to keep the lead, I honestly don't think I think he'd have a hard time getting by us, and him being on the bottom when there's a guy outside, it's pretty hard to not use the whole track up and get around them. So I was happy. We had a good car, and it was good to run pretty good. It felt like we should have been second, but just not a lot of room here when you're racing on the outside. But I'm happy, and I think all the guys are happy, and it was a good way to finish the season off, the Bass Pro Chevy.
You guys struggled in those last few Cars Tour events, so to come here in such a big event at the end of the season and run as good as you guys did, how does that feel?
Yeah, it's just kind of a confidence boost. Kind of been down a little bit, and not running good like normal kind of sucks. So just being able to come here and with the strength of field that there is and running as good as we did, I'm satisfied, and I think all of us are happy going into the off season.
Last question. You and Kaden are both entered into the Snowball Derby in a couple weeks. What are you looking forward to most as you jump back into Super down in Pensacola?
Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think. I've been running the Shooting Motorsports car, and I've been having a blast. It's been amazing, but being able to jump back in my dad's super late model that he owns, that we work on after hours and stuff like that, it's always fun, I ran the Derby last year. I think we finished 10th, and I think we have a pretty good car this year. We got something new that we're pretty much debuting over there at the Derby for me. So I'm excited for that. We'll see how that goes, but it'll be fun at the end.
Thank you. With Kade Brown, winner of the 2023 South Carolina 400. First of all, what a year for you it's been in late model stock car competition. You won the track championship at Hickory, you won the Bobby Isaac Memorial, you won the Fall Brawl, and now you've won the South Carolina 400. What does that mean to you?
Oh man, I mean, it's been a hell of a year. It's our first year with Matt Pierce Racing. I mean, we clicked fast, like right after the icebreaker, and started winning races right away. So, I mean, we learned a lot as a team, and I'm excited for what the future holds with those guys. But I mean, we had an amazing night, and I mean, this whole year, like, we've been, seems like, up the entire time. And I mean, all these guys work their tails off, and I feel like it's well deserved. So I just, hands down, got to thank everybody that helps us out, gets us to this point, and we'll see what the future holds here.
Once you took the lead just past the mid-race break, it looked like you really had the best car once you were out front. Where did you feel like you were better than some of the guys you were racing around you?
Really, I feel like all around on the bottom. I feel like a lot of those guys, when they started pushing a little bit harder late race, had to migrate to the top, and we were able to keep it pinned on the bottom and have good drive. And I feel like that's where we really were better. There at the end, like, the top was better firing off just because you could use the entire racetrack. But once you're single file, like when we got to the bottom, I think we were pretty lights out.
And one more question. On that last restart, you and Kaden traded some paint a little bit.
He even said after the race, I started it, so I respect the move. What went through your head through that process?
Man, I felt like we had the best car. Matt felt like we had the best car. I was not going to let it end like that. I lost a race earlier this year at the throwback race at Hickory for just letting someone go after they made an aggressive move and trying to repay him later, and just ran out of time. So I wasn't going to run out of time there. I was going to capitalize on the opportunity, and I'm glad it worked out.
Thank you. It's Kaden Honeycutt, second tonight in the South Carolina 400. First, I want to ask you about the final restart. Hard racing between you and Kade Brown. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to move him off the racetrack and won. That's the only opportunity I had. I didn't have anything on the bottom. I knew if I went straight down the bottom, I would have probably lost second, even probably third. So I just tried to make a winning move. That's all I could have done, and he gave it right back to me in 3 and 4. I had no issue with that. I respect it. So just want to thank Castle Glass, RNS Race Cars, BSD Shock, Florence Motor Sports, Fayetteville Heating Air, so for the support, and all my guys did an amazing job all weekend. So we'll take it and go to next week. But yeah, I respect the move. He did it right back. I started it, so he finished it. So I have no issue with that at all.
Obviously, one spot short here in such a big event. Not where you want to end up, but what else do you think you needed there at the end to have another shot?
I was just too free. I felt like I burned it up a lot using the top, because that's really the only thing I could have done to hold my track position and try to make a solid finish out of it. So I just, like I said, on that restart, I had nothing. I was hanging on for dear life to even finish the race and hold off Carson behind me. And he could have pushed me off the track anytime he wanted to, so I appreciate him racing me clean. So, yeah, I mean, he was better than me, so that's the only race winning move I could have done to make something happen. But we'll go on and go race for 15 grand next week in the Kinley.
One more question. Such a crazy year for you between ARCA starts, truck starts, late model starts. How does it feel to be ending the year on a high note with such good runs?
Man, it feels so good. I felt like, I raced at Tri-County earlier this year, and I felt like I had the 30K to win after Brenden ran out, and then I ran out with 5 to go. So that was just a tough race. That's probably the lowest point of my racing career so far this year. So just good to have a good run. I've not had very good races in these late models in the last couple of races and Cars Tour and weekly stuff. So it feels nice to get a good finish against pretty much the best in the state and the country. So it feels good to go next week and take the momentum to Kinley.
Thank you.
Yep. What is up, everybody? I'm Trenton, Worsham, here with Chase Folsom at Florence Motor Speedway. We just got done covering the South Carolina 400 out here. Long race, a lot of cautions to start. Just first impressions for you.
It was odd because it was really clean race up until lap 62, and then after that, everything kind of fell apart in yellow after yellow after yellow. And there was actually so many yellows, they had to move the mid-race break up from lap 125 to lap 100 because a lot of teams were concerned about fuel. So that presented an opportunity for another possible competition caution later in the race, but it ended up being that everybody was clean from there on out, saving tires, trying to save their equipment for the end. And we went green from, I believe, lap 100 all the way until, I think, 38 to go. So we went a long time green, and then hard racing at the end between Kade Brown and Kaden Honeycutt. Can't ask for much more than that. Not quite. We got Southern National next week, but pretty much bookend the late model stock season.
Yeah, and one of the guys in that mix was Butterbean, talking about saving your equipment. I talked to him after the race, and he said he kind of did it to himself. He purposely put himself back, try to get the tires to come back at the end, but they just couldn't do it. They had the restarts, but they didn't have enough to do it. So your 2022 winner got a top 5 finish, but he didn't repeat. He was on the hunt though, unfortunately, but we saw a lot of drivers doing that. What do you notice about the tires tonight? How long the people who hung back in the second stint, they couldn't get back to the front.
Yeah, and about Butterbean, that is something he's always been known for in these highly abrasive racetracks. He is very good at saving his equipment, and he actually did it earlier this year in the Cars Tour at New River All-American Speedway. He dropped back almost to a lap down at the midpoint of the race and then stormed back to the front. And the fact that he was not able to quite do that tonight just shows how hard the tires really were tonight. They held on very well. And Dale, when we were talking to Dale Earnhardt Jr. earlier, he even said that he felt like they ran 85% the whole night, and the tires just hung on. So a little bit different than what we normally see. It felt like the tire wear, it was definitely a factor, but it felt like it didn't nearly affect the race as much as it normally does here at Florence.
Yeah, another guy I talked to is Josh Barrett. If you guys are watching on Flow Racing tonight, you saw he dominated the first half. Dominated it. And then the race break comes. He said they didn't do too many adjustments. People around them probably made more adjustments, but at that point, you know, he just started dropping back. And Rodney came to the radio and said to save that tire. And so even for him, the guy that dominated the first portion of the race, he couldn't get back up there either. Again, good finish, but could have come out here with one effort, leading virtually almost every lap to start.
Yeah, and he had some pretty interesting comments earlier in the race when they had the lap 100 break. He didn't seem too happy about the fact that the format got changed in the middle of the race. He also didn't seem too happy about the fact that there were so many cautions and caution laps weren't being counted, which is an interesting topic in the late model stock world, because sometimes you do have these races. It happened at the Old North State Championships earlier this year, where there's just caution after caution after caution, and when you aren't counting caution laps, these races can all of a sudden turn into an hours-long endurance affair. And that's kind of what it looked like it was going to be tonight before the second half of the race.
Yeah, and the storyline to sort of go along with all this, you're the Frontstretch car store guy. You're going to have a possible new team to cover in college racing. I spoke with Chris Rice and Josh Williams, who's racing college racing now with Xfinity for next season. They're coming up with a late model team. JRM has their late model team. Kevin Harvick has his guys. I mean, we're starting to see some of the big boys come back down to the grassroots level. What is, you know, someone who covers this part of the stock car racing and the car store and the late models, you know, what does this look like?
It's very healthy for the sport, and I'll add to that, and I'll say Chase Briscoe usually runs a Chad Bryant racing car when he comes down to the car store, and Justin Marks even broke out a late model stock car in North Wilkesboro earlier this year for Daniel Suarez. Late model stock racing, it's been said time and time again by some of the biggest names in the sport, is maybe the toughest sport, specifically the car store, in North American auto racing. The competition is incredible. And with the addition of a team like College Racing now having a late model stock car program, it's only going to get better. And I'll be very curious to see who they put in that car next year, whether it's a development driver or we get some NASCAR guys to come run some more car stuff.
No, he didn't tell me that, but Josh is going to college next year. What are some of your final takeaways with the running order tonight? You know, Dale, you know, he came up and got a good result after his poor qualifying effort. Our winners, you know, 23 car, you know, going behind us.
Unofficially at this moment, at what time is it? 1:06 a.m. here on the East Coast. Kade Brown is the winner, allegedly. Until he gets through post-race tech, I'm not going to confirm that, because that car's been a hot topic in the late model stock car world, specifically with him being the Hickory Motor Speedway track champion this year. There was multiple times when other teams felt like his car wasn't inspected fairly, which is why it's still being inspected at past 1 o'clock in the morning right now. So, if that car passes tech, I just think it's a prove-it race for Kade Brown to step away from the track that his father helps run at Hickory Motor Speedway and come out here to the biggest stage really in the South Carolina 400 and pull off a big win like that. And once he took the lead just past the halfway mark, he really never gave it up. He held off challenges from Carson Kvapil a couple times, and then that last restart, Kaden Honeycutt tried to run him up. Kade gave it back to him in turn 3 and 4. That's just hard racing. You can't ask for much more than that. So, with that, I will bookend Frontstretch coverage of late model stock car racing here in 2023 from the South Carolina 400. It never fails to disappoint. I'm Chase Folsom. He's Trenton Worsham. Good night from Florence Motor Speedway.
This is Austin Dillon, driver of the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.